All right, I was going to sort of get dressed up like I would be hunting. Appropriate. This is one setup I've used a lot over the years. It took a little while, and it takes a little getting used to having this one shoulder strap, but I thought, well, if I'm carrying a rifle on my right shoulder all the time, I can find something to take some of the load on my left shoulder. It's not totally even, but this has worked pretty well to me, and I keep going back to it because it's light, it's simple. I've got a lot of room in the back. I have a rifle up and over my shoulder blade here, so it's a little more locked in, where if I had a full pack on, it'd be a little tough. The thing I don't like about a pack is that anytime I want something out of it, I gotta take it off. Whereas this, I can just loosen the belt, spin it around, I have access, pull my map out. And if you are talking about taking your pack off, I've got to take my rifle off and find someplace to set it. Maybe take my binoculars off and then take my pack off and dig into it. And I'm talking about a layer. I've got to do the same thing. I've got to take everything off and put it in a layer on, put everything back on. So I want to minimize that, whether I'm layering or accessing my stuff. Something like this. This is a heavy-duty frame, which gives it the rigidity to transfer a heavy load into the belt and harness system. And I can take this pack off and put a bigger one on, which I have here. If I want to go if I'm packing my camp into the back country, I've got this, which opens up kind of like a suitcase. I can have all my extra layers in here. That being said, I have hunted for a couple of decades with this old frame pack, and I could pack in a load of gear, and I could put an elk leg in the back. You know, the old frame was what transferred the load down, get this pretty snugged. And so this system here has got a rifle harness. First, I got to get it up through this little hole here. This came with a strap, but it was too loose, so I just made my own cordage loop. And then you get it in the pocket down here. Holds my rifle in pretty snug. If I want to get it out to shoot, it's a bit of a process. You know, it's pretty easy to get out. I undo the buckle here, just slide it out like this and down, and I can get pretty quick ready for a shot. However, it's really difficult to get back in, but it's very comfortable, and I can go along. I can even take hiking poles if I want, and I've got both hands always ready. So some options, and it's just whatever you have, use it and see how it goes for a while. Okay, so typically in cool weather, this is a heavyweight, half zip wool base layer. This is my first layer. I'm not wearing a t-shirt under it, like a crew neck, because when I start getting hot, I want to be able to open this up and dump heat in a hurry. And a heavyweight wool shirt on top of that. And a lot of time that's all I'm wearing at the top, down to 20 degrees maybe, but I'm moving a lot, hiking. I'm not wearing anything on my legs. No, I'm wearing long underwear. I've got different weights of long underwear, and you can do, as it warms up, you can have a lighter weight version of your base layer. And if it's really warm, maybe I'm not wearing my wool shirt. And if it's really cold, I'll have a windbreaker or a heavy fleece or something that's still quiet if I'm walking through brush. You got to think about if you're walking through brush and if you're going to make a bunch of noise versus wool. And wool is great. I mean, it stays warm even if it gets wet. You want to avoid cotton at all costs in any of your layers. I've got a couple lighter weight pairs of wool pants. And so this is pretty cold weather hunting, heavier layers, and I'll wear gaiters. I can walk through deep snow up to my waist and not worry about the snow pushing my pants up and getting down inside my boots. And it also helps shed water if you're walking through wet grass or snow. This orange, I can get away with this shorty vest because I don't have a pack on. You can see it from the back, but if I had a full pack, I've got a long sleeve version. The arms are visible. Yeah, it's got a 400 square inches visible. Whether you're using this or a pack, you want to try to figure out how to dress where you're not having to take off layers and put on layers here. And I do that by having a good warm neck fleece. And this is a lightweight wool hat, but I'll have a heavier one for cooler weather. And I'll have those someplace that I can access very easily. So I leave the hot tent in the morning, start climbing a hill and overheating, and I open this up and I I can take my hat and gaiter off as I'm walking. And heating up, I just pull this off and put it in here, open stuff up, and I just get up the top and I slow down. It starts getting cold. I zip this up, pull these off, out, put my neck gaiter back on, my wool hat back on. So this, basically, these are my layers right here. Other than when it gets really nasty and windy, rainy, snowy, I'll have a windbreaker, rain jacket that I can tie onto the bottom here. Gloves, also a layered system, and these give me some dexterity to operate my binoculars. I can work my rifle and my safety, and I could shoot with these gloves on. If I'm sneaking up on an animal and I take my glove off to get ready to take a shot, and I sit there for a half hour and my hand is frozen, I can't feel the trigger, it's not good. These are layered, so if I shoot an animal in the real cold weather, I've got these old 20-year-old glove liners, and I can put a rubber glove over this, I can grab stuff and work, and I'm keeping this pretty dry because I've got the rubber glove on. So boots. For years I hunted around in these packs, rubber bottom, leather top, kind of like Sorels. They're heavy. They're waterproof from here down, and the leather's heavy leather that stays conditioned. I have an extra set of wool liners. I can pull these out and dry them for a day and put the other ones in. But they are heavy, and if you're not hiking a long ways, sitting in a tree stand or sitting on a horse or something, they're pretty nice. But I found that since I'm hiking around all day, it was more weight than I needed or wanted on my foot. So for years I went to just a backpacking boot. This is a Zamberlin from REI. This was the most comfortable and lightweight. It had a fairly aggressive tread, which has worn down quite a bit now, but if you're going down a hill, you want to get something that locks into slippery mud or snow, and if you're going up a hill, you want some tread here to grab. They are Gore-Tex, so I feel like more often than not, my feet get more moisture from sweating than exterior elements. If I was hunting out on the coast, I would probably have a little bit more emphasis on the waterproofness. But these are not Gore-Tex. I figure one less layer to trap heat and moisture. So these are more warm, dry weather hunting boots. This is a company called Kenetrek. They also make these, and these are also the Kenetreks, but they call them the Mountain Extreme, I think. And they have them in insulated and non-insulated. This is a slight layer of insulation. They're a little bit padded in there, and I think that helps wick away the moisture. And I've been really impressed with these in cold weather hunting, but they're a little more reinforced with this rubber layer down here, and they do have some sort of a waterproof membrane in them. And all of these boots, all the leather stuff, I'll keep conditioned a couple times a year, depending on how much I'm using them. Light scrub brush, take the laces out, a little warm water, wash, scrape all this clean, let it dry for a while, and then I'll got a old toothbrush and the boot wax. I'll get in there and just rub every little nook and cranny, and that keeps the leather conditioned and it keeps them pretty waterproof. So a good fit, aggressive sole, as light a weight as possible, and some insulation if you're hunting in really cold weather, or lack of insulation if you're hunting in really warm weather. And then, of course, the gaiters. They can go on any of these boots. Part of it is how comfortable you are walking around the mountains all day and what you need on your pack. I'm a proponent of going light, going fast, and going far. I do have a rangefinder here that I've added, and I've got a timepiece, so that way I know how much daylight I have left in the day. Yeah, the old saying on 2 headlamps, 2 is 1, 1 is none. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, several miles from camp, and it's pitch black, there's no moon, and it's cloudy, overcast, your headlamp craps out on you. Makes for a long night. This is a game bag right here. It's lightweight nylon, really lightweight, reusable for years and years. You just wash them. There's other versions of sort of this cheesecloth that's stretchy. You get a leg in there, real lightweight. Old pillowcases, not quite as light sometimes, but it can easily fit a deer leg or 2 in there. And then, like I said, tie it up with cordage and you hang that up. Or you just drop it in your pack like that. I just carry a couple of wraps, food wrapped in tortillas or leftover dinner or whatever, And you can do a lot in a day without much food. You don't want to do that every day. I think it's pretty amazing what we're capable of when we don't have the option of going and sitting on the couch.